Standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages.
When I tell you guys that when a woman have her own money, she's doing well for herself, and she knows that she's doing well for herself, and she knows that her standards are high, do you know what people do? They insult her that is why you don't have a man. Okay, so this lady came online to talk about why her standards are so high, and she was mentioning, I know a lot of languages, I have this kind of certificate, I have this, I have that, I take care of my gut health, I take care of my protein. Like, she was just listing the things that made her standards to be high. This got a lot of people talking, and you know the kind of people that will talk is the men, of course. But then there was a woman that stitched the video at first, and she started talking about all she has. That's why she does not have a man. Let me show you the clip.
Your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I've created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform. Not to mention, I started diversifying my financial portfolio at 23.
They don't care. They don't care. The only love language a man cares about is his love language and whether you are fluent in it or not. The only program he cares about is whatever program is making your ass tight, fit, and plump. Girl, the only time they care about you squatting is if you're squatting in the bedroom. Don't pretend like you don't know what I mean. The only books my man cares if I read are parenting books to make sure I'm not effing up his children. They don't care about your financial portfolio, honey. They care about your Instagram portfolio and how many pictures make you look like a hoe. Listen, I think you're a boss, babe. For real, I want to be you. But as cool as that is to me and other females, that's not what's gonna find you a man. Not one that's gonna want to keep you, at least. Because unfortunately, I know too many 40-year-old women that are childless, single, and also speak 3 languages and have written books who have no man. But you'd make a great escort. I'm thinking political events, I'm thinking the Capitol, or a spy.
The thing is, I couldn't even find the lady's video. So I only found this video that was stitched. That's this woman's video. This is exactly what I was saying. That no matter what you are, no matter who you are as a woman, if you're focusing on yourself, you try to make your own money, you're intimidating both women and men, especially men, right? And you're single, people would tell you, especially where I'm from, I don't know, but where I'm from, people will tell you all the things that you have is just a waste. In fact, a woman that has her own car, her own house, they're already telling her that you're doing too much because there's no man that wants to marry you because you already have your own house, you already have your own car, you have so much money and you're showing it too much. Oh, you have so much educational certificates. No, too much. You're doing too much. No man wants to settle for you. They make you look like, okay, if you still want to get married, don't run to get all those things. Just calm down and just be on that level so that whatever man you meet, it will join you or something. They still tell you and insult you in their own way. They think telling a woman that you're single, that's why you don't have a man, is an insult. That's why some people usually tell women like, well, that's why you don't have a man. That's why you're not married yet. That is not an insult, because I don't see how that is an insult. How you are telling a woman that, oh, you're happy and no man is stressing you. That's not an insult. That's a compliment. So this video got a lot of people talking. Men, like, saying this is what we're saying, this is what we're saying, and also women had to also talk about it. Let me show you some reaction on this video, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3.
Well, that explains the single part, young lady. I'm just saying.
Your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein.
Hi there, TikTokers. For greater context, please go back and watch that video. Now, let's just start off with the elephant in the room. Yes, this was a palm-colored woman who gave a response to that sister's video. Now, does this mean that a sister couldn't have given an equal response? No, it doesn't mean that. A sister could have. But That's not what happened in this. And unfortunately, we don't see too many sisters make responses like that woman made. So that should be food for thought right there. Why don't you sisters make more responses like that lady's response to this sister? Why don't you do it? I mean, you'll be mad when black men say that non-black women seem more predisposed towards marriage and have a greater understanding of what men actually want. You get mad, but at the same time, you don't prove anybody wrong. Okay, now that that's done, let's get on to the juicy bits. Namely, every time we hear women talk this bullshit about their standards, how they don't see them as ridiculously high, how they still want to use their so-called accomplishments to justify why it is that their standards are what they are, how can we never see you with a man? We never see your man. We never see anything that remotely resembles a marriage or an actual marital family. Sure, you might have some kids. You have some little bastards running around. Hell, a lot of times you have some half-grown bastards running around. But we still don't see the husband. We don't see women like this seal the deal. Why not? For example, I'm sure that most of us would agree that the sister in the original video is significantly more pretty than, say, the average black woman. And yet, she has all these varied accomplishments. PhDs, she's able to speak different languages, she has an outstanding financial portfolio. She is essentially the man that she wants to get with. But yet she still has no man. Make it make sense. You mean to tell me that she is so desirable, but yet the type of man that she wants would prefer the type of chick that works at McDonald's or something? Hell, if anything, it is truly sad that in this day and age, such highly accomplished women have to have this even explained to them. I mean, these would be the same women who, with all of that academia, all of that financial portfolio, they would still find themselves all but living in the gym. Or they would spend a fortune on various cosmetic enhancements. They would do all these things to make themselves look more attractive than what God intended. And yet somehow they seem to not understand that men have never truly been interested in any of the bullshit that they want to come out with.
The only program he cares about is whatever program is making your ass tight, fit.
While everything you're saying is true, I mean this with great levity. Look at her and look at you. Look at her
And look at you.
and look at you. We don't like to have this conversation because it's uncomfortable. Because we want to believe that we as women are the chosen ones when we meet the criteria, whatever demeaning, superficial, servitude, dehumanizing fucking criteria that men have for us in order for them to be satisfied with us. The truth of the matter is that women live longer, they look better, they accumulate more wealth, they're less drained, less overworked, less tired when they're not dealing with men. When they're not dealing with men. I'm going to show you something else. Check this out. Child, this is Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott Didn't she start making music in the 90s? I was literally in high school when Missy Elliott started making music. Look at goddamn Missy Elliott. Baby, she looks good. And you know why? Because she ain't got no man draining her, who she has to suppress who she really is, her voice, her needs, and her wants in order to please some man. She ain't got no kids draining her. And while I do believe that children are a blessing, they are two things can be true at once. They're also very draining. Men can be a blessing, but two things can be true at once. They're also very draining. So what I seem to notice is the more women cater to and become what men want, the more they're put into a servitude role, which in turn becomes something very draining for them. They lose their own personality and their own voice. They exchange the me for a we, but most of the time they are living as servants to the male ego, the whatever the man can produce as far as finance and wealth. And the truth of the matter is that there is pros and cons to everything. And from a logical perspective, you can have a man, you can have a family, you can have kids. You can also run the risk of being drained and losing your identity, and that knocking years off of your life. Or you could be a rich boss bitch and be without a man and, date periodically and have men in your life when you want them, and when you don't, get rid of them. And you can preserve your youth, your life, your body, your mind, and you just won't have a man consistently, but shit, you'll have a lot of money and you'll have a career and you'll have a voice. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think that the boss babes need to realize that men are expendable in your world, and that the trad wives and the traditional wives and women need to realize that you're gonna be fucking drained and you're gonna be overworked, and that just comes with the territory. It's pros and cons to everything.
The only love language a man cares about is his love language and whether you are fluent in it or not.
I still haven't decided if that was satire or not. But if it wasn't satire, that was embarrassing. And I would hold your hand when I say this, but your hand's probably covered in child goo, so probably not. The woman you stitched was not saying that those things would impress a man. She doesn't care. What she was saying is that she is accomplished and successful all on her own, so why should she lower her standards just so that she can be with a man? Because being with a man is no prize, and women today collectively have woken up to that reality. Well, some women anyway. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be blunt. The only time it really benefits a woman to marry is if that man has money. And it's not because she wants to take his money or whatever, like sign a prenup, I don't care. No, it's because when you have money as a wife, you are not an indentured servant. Marrying a man who has no money and having his children really just means that a woman ends up doing 2 or 3 jobs, most of which are not paid. Even if they can get by on one income, it really is not fun having to scrimp and save and then basically be the cook, the cleaner, the nanny, the whole shebang, and do everything all by yourself 24/7. No rest days, no sick days, no days off, no breaks. And then if she does work outside of the home, usually she will still have to do all of the domestic labor, all of the cooking, the cleaning, the parenting, the mental load. I mean, we've talked about all of this before. There are studies. It's a fact. And the cherry on top of the poop cake is that if/when he leaves her, there isn't really enough money in the asset pool for her to be able to sustain herself post-separation. Usually what happens is that woman has spent years out of the workforce, she's got a bunch of kids to support, she has no real way of earning any money, there are no assets, no investments, and she's really not receiving a lot in any sort of child support or maintenance. Now, that's not to say that every man with money automatically is going to be a good man, okay? I don't know why people just assume that that's what I mean. I'm just saying, when you have money, you have more options. You have more freedom. You have the ability to outsource work so that you have more support, so that you don't end up constantly covered in sticky jam hands because, you pay people for that. And that support also means that you can then invest more in yourself, in your skills, going back to school, starting a business, doing something that means that you will be able to support yourself, worst case scenario. Plus, there's also money, assets, and investments in the asset pool from which you can be paid. And because I deal in divorce, I see what happens to the women who have married men who have money and the women who've married men who have none. So the first woman in your video that you were stitching is smart, because what she is saying is she has her own and she's not willing to be with a man who also doesn't have his own, because those men are just a liability. Just a lot of unpaid labor and heartache, and nothing to show for it at the end. And that's why I don't make being a wife and a mother the core of my whole identity, and that's why I don't just come on here and teach women how to get any old man. Because it's easy to get a man if that's all you really want, but most of them are just not worth being with. The women are much better off investing in themselves and being super picky about what type of men they're going to deal with. Okay, that is all, class dismissed.
For me, the video that the first woman did, the black woman that I was talking about, why our standards are so high, I feel like she's saying all of that because she's saying that, see, even if I don't have a man, I'm good. Okay? But because some people that are male-centered, some women that are male-centered, and some women that feel like their life evolve around men, whatever I do, it's all evolve around men. You see her carrying children, and you can, like, she just came out from the kitchen, right? She's nursing and all of that. That's what some women feel like that's the only thing a woman is supposed to do in life, right? They see those women saying statements like that as if whatever you say, if you don't have a man, you are not happy. And if you ask them deep down, most of them are not happy. They're just there because they feel like that is where they should be. They feel like that is the right place for them to be. They feel like that is what they've come to this world to do. Because a lot of women believe that they were brought to this world to just make babies and serve men, right? So that is why whatever they do, they always evolve it around men. Our standards are high because our standards are high. And these men are intimidated by our standards because they cannot get to that stage. A kind of man that will appreciate her and the ones that have the same qualities or more of what she has. Not the ones that have less, or they know that they can never acquire what she has. They're going to be intimidated. They're going to want to insult her in their own words and tell her that is why you will never have a man. That's why you're going to die alone. That's why you're going to die alone with your cats. They feel like it's an insult. And it's not an insult. Like, it's really not an insult. Telling a woman that has achieved a lot in her life and saying that you're going to die alone. You that you've not achieved anything, you will still die alone. Okay? I don't get it. You're still going to die alone. And the thing is, it's better for you to, even though she wants to feel, probably she feels lonely or something, it's better for you to feel lonely while you're single than to be in a relationship and still be lonely, because marriage does not guarantee happiness. Marriage does not guarantee you not feeling lonely, because a lot of married women are not happy. A lot of married women are still lonely in their house. Even the fact that they have a man, they are still lonely. They still feel lonely. They still feel their emotional needs are not met. They still feel that their mental needs are not met. They still feel that their physical needs are not actually met. So being with a man does not guarantee happiness at all. So them saying that, okay, after all you've achieved, you're still not happy. She didn't tell you she was not happy. She's just telling you this is why our standards are high. And for you to come and meet her, you have to at least be the same level or above. If you cannot be that, bye-bye. Because you cannot, put in a lot of effort to get her to that standards, and you with no ambition you will now come and start telling her what she does not know. Because the thing that you guys don't know is most men want a woman they can control. If they cannot control you, they are intimidated by you and they want to insult you. If they see that you have so many, your standards are high, or you've achieved so much things that they can never achieve in their lives, they want to insult you, they want to stay away from you, and they feel intimidated and they're like scared of you or something, what they do next is to insult you. When they say that they cannot have you, they insult you. When they say that you're too high standard, they insult you. They don't want to actually see what they can learn from you. No, no, most of them don't want to learn from you. They feel like that is why. See, I told you guys I've been watching Pop the Balloon Show. So the Pop Balloon Show, the thing is, one thing I've noticed again is once a woman walking and she kind of saying what she does, who she is, and she comes with a lot of, boldness, charisma, and you can hear her talk, her confidence, you see that she's beautiful and everything. The guys start popping the balloon and you ask them, why are you popping the balloon? Be like, you kind of too, for me, she's just too. What it means is you're too intimidating. Okay, you have these all achievements. I don't have anything, so let me just stay away from you. They see it when they see that you have a lot of achievement that they can never get. They are intimidated and they don't want to be with you. The thing is, what most of them does is to insult you and tell you the reason why you're single. The reason why you're single is because you decided to focus on your education. It's because you decided to focus on making money rather than focus on chasing men. What achievement do you gain? I don't understand. What achievement are going to gain in chasing a man? For me, you're only going to get heartbreak, mental problem. In fact, a lot of disabilities, because I've seen women that they were with their complete body before they met the man. The next thing, they have one eyes or they cannot walk again. These are the things you get from being with a man. Heartbreak. They break your heart to the extent that you cannot even love or trust again because of what they've done to you. So I don't see what achievement or why should a woman leave focusing on education and follow a man, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna cry. What is your take on today's video? Let me know in that comment section. Can your thoughts down comment section respectfully. Check out Mara Davis and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.